You need to understand there will never really be perfect moment for you to start. The conditions, the environment, to never be in a perfect condition for you to start. You know, when God made man, when God made us, when God made you, He made you with a purpose. And in that purpose are so many ideas, great ideas, so much dreams. And all of that can only be unveiled if you take that first step of faith. And it's really important, many a times you say you want to do this, you want to do this, so many great ideas, so much light, so much fire burning in. I want to just do so much, but then you keep on feeling like there have to be a moment, like the perfect moment will just come from above and then comes down on our lap, and then it's right there for us to take that first step. There'll never be that moment if you don't take a step, if you don't start, if you don't take that first move. You know, you don't need permission to start. You don't need perfection to start. All you gotta do is start. There's so much light in you that the world is waiting for. You've made to be the light in darkness, not to blend with darkness. But see, you'll never get to that point where you're illuminating, when you're shining, if you don't take that first move. How many dreams have been buried? How many gifts remains hidden? How many ideas were never given birth to? All because someone was waiting for the perfect moment. Do you feel that? Do you see how painful that is? You know, Someone once said, the richest place on earth is the graveyard, and that really broke my heart. You know, that's a very painful narrative. We gotta change that narrative. That can't be for us. That can't be for you. You have to change that narrative. But you can only do that if you take that first step. If you make that first move. And yeah, that's why we're here. We're here to flip the switch on. Yeah? Let's really talk about this. What do you think is the perfect moment? Because personally, I think the perfect moment is a cliche. It's just a, it's just an excuse, you know, dressed up in beautiful words. The perfect moment. While we keep on waiting for the perfect moment before we take that first move, time keeps on going by. The clock keeps on going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You know, Time is never really waiting for anyone. The more you keep on waiting, the more time keeps on going by, passing by. Time will never really wait because you don't have things figured out. I'm here to tell you that things don't have to make sense before you start. Everything don't have to be figured out before you take that first move. Just gotta take that first move. Just gotta take that first step. As a child, if you reminisce on when you were 1 year old, I'm sure you probably can't remember that. But from seeing young kids, seeing young children, you're gonna know that they have to start from a point. They were lying down, then they had to take a crawl, then they stood up, then they took a walk. It was that first walk, and now you and I have taken more than 10,000 steps in our lifetime. Wow, that sounds like a lot. But if you were told at that point that you're going to take up 10,000 steps, at that moment that it looked like it doesn't really make sense. Can I really do this? I don't think my bones are fit enough. But it's all in you. You have all of this in you, like it's all embedded in you. I love to read books. But one of my favorite books is the Bible. You know, I have a look at the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 1, right there saying, "Arise." Hey, it's speaking to you. Arise, shine. Oh my God. Arise. Literally, like you have to start first before you can shine. You have to take that first move before you can shine. And then the next statement there said, "Your light has come." The light is already in you, but you have to flip it on. You have to put on that switch. Only if you arise. And you arising, that's you starting. That's you making that first move. That move that first step that looks so hard, that looks like you can't do it, that doesn't make sense to you. But you just have to start. The world ain't looking for perfect people. The world is looking for real people, you know, real people that are ready to shine. And that's you, ma. That's you, my friend. That's you. The world needs you. The world is waiting for you to take that first step, to make that first move. You know, you don't have to start with everything figured out. It's alright to start with shaky hands. You know, that's really fine. As long as you start, as long as you make that first move, as long as you take that first step. You know, we can't allow that narrative of taking our dreams to the graveyard, of keeping our ideas so hidden, and then we don't leave a landmark on earth. If for any moment you're thinking um the perfect moment, the perfect moment to start, if you just want to find a moment that is perfect for you to start, I'm here to tell you that perfect moment is right now. Like you watching me right now. This is the perfect moment. That big idea of yours, submit the application, start that YouTube channel. You don't have to have a fancy camera. You don't have to have a millionaire before you start that business. You don't have to have 10 followers before you start that book club, before you start that fellowship. Are you with me? You don't have to have all of that. You know, um, the people we admire so much, the ones that are doing the big things, they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect. They were only willing to start. They were only willing to take that first step. You don't have to know the next 10 steps that you have to take. You just have to take the first one. And that's a step of faith. It's you saying, "Yo, Lord, I trust you. I know you put all of this in me. I know you don't give me this purpose, all these ideas, these big dreams that I don't think I can foster. I don't think I can take them to the end point, to the point, like I can't take them to the peak with my own strength, but I trust in you. So I'm going to take this first step." Yeah, that's the first of that's the step of faith. Yeah, you know, your dad is looking somehow right now. I don't know if it's about to fall. I hope it doesn't. I know this mic's probably having some noise cancellation, but I don't know how good it is. But then, either ways, restarting. That's why I'm here. And that's what I'm doing right now. Taking this first step, making this first move. Do you think it all made sense to me? Do you think it's all making sense to me? How I'm gonna go? You know, don't worry about consistency or commitment for this first step. Just start first. Let all of those things be. You're gonna figure all of that along the way. Okay? You can figure all of that. You just have to believe. You know, the light is already in you. The light is already in you. You just have to flip the switch on. You just have to light on. And then you're going to shine. What that passage is telling us is that you just have to start, arise, and then you shine because your light has come. I mean, you know, it's really going to be so pitiful and really bad 50 years down the line, and then you're coming out and saying, hey, I will have done this, I will have done this. I remember when I was 25, I remember when I was 18 years old, I remember when I was 15 years old. I had this plan, I had this idea, I had this dream. I was speaking to a friend some days back, and he said, you won't always feel this way, and that's so true. You won't always feel this fire in you. you know if you don't exercise it, if you don't keep it burning by starting, you'll never you won't always feel this way. you know you won't always feel this way. And it's really important to take that first step. That's the step that determines how far you go. That's the step that determines how good you become. Stop waiting for perfection. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You just gotta start. Starting builds momentum, and momentum makes progress possible. Momentum makes perfection possible. Hey, I said you can start with shaky hands if you have to, but just start by all means. You don't have to have everything figured out. Yeah, the world is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you to shine. The world is waiting for you to light on your world. Yeah, you've got this. You can do this. You have all it takes. You just have to start. Don't allow your fears to keep you down. Don't allow unbelief. Don't allow what ifs. Keep the negative what ifs. You know, work with the positive what ifs. What if I'm the one that the world is waiting for? Do you see that? That's really huge. That's huge. That's what to look at. Look at the positive side. Look at the better side. Okay? I don't have everything figured out. I don't have my life all fixed. My life doesn't make total sense to me. But this I know, that I have to be here. I have to be on the screen speaking to you right now. And we have to make our generation better. In a few years' time, I want it to be said that I want to rob the graveyard of all its dreams that is skipping and piling up, that has been taken away from the earth. The dreams, the ideas, the purpose, so much passion and dreams not being established, not being manifested because you didn't start. That won't be for us. Yeah. And that's why you're here. And you really got this. Just have to stop overthinking it. You know, once you discover and understand that all of that fire that is in you, all of the light, the purpose, the ideas, the dreams, they were all put there by God. They're all given to you by God. Then you start believing more in God, and keep on moving. And then you build momentum. And then you'll be able to get to where you were destined to be. All of these things are only possible only if you start, only if you take that first move. Submit the application, start that YouTube channel. You don't have to wait for a fancy camera, you don't have to wait for all the gadgets. You just have to start. If I should keep on waiting, then this first video won't be out there. It won't. And it's really necessary to surround yourself with the right circle, the circle that will keep your fire burning. And I'm really grateful for my circle. You know, it's all thanks to God. God is good. Yeah. Take that first move. And I'm really rooting for you all. I'm rooting for you because you've got this. You've got all it takes. Yeah, you've got all it takes. And it's really my pleasure to welcome you to Light On. Yeah. This is just the beginning. This is just the first video. This is just the startup. If this encouraged you, drop a like, drop a comment. You know, let's know the first step you're taking. Let's know about the first move you're going to be taking. You know, share this to someone that have been waiting for perfect. Okay, let's flip that switch on. Let's light our world together. And I'm gonna tell you again and again and again, you've got this. That dream is not bigger than you, because he that is in you is greater than all of this. There's no obstacle that can weigh you down. It's actually building you, to do better, to do greater, to do so much more than anyone had ever thought about. That purpose, that vision that you have, put it down, write it down. Don't just keep it in your mind. Don't just have it in your thoughts alone. Write it down and start working towards it, like right now. Yeah. The guitar practice, start. Yeah, start. Start now. You're gonna learn a trade. Yeah, start now. Because if you keep on complaining, making excuses, those are just excuses. Keep on talking about the economy, about how things don't make sense right now, about how things are not making sense in your life, about your family background, about how you grew up. All of those things are excuses. You can't really go that far by making excuses. And it's really crazy that you might never even start if you keep on making excuses. So let's keep all the excuses out of it and work towards our goals. Let's align with our purpose. Let's let the distractions away. Let's leave that out. Set targets, set plans, daily plans. Don't allow this time to pass you by. Also referring to my favorite book again. In Ecclesiastes was said, there's a time and a season for everything. A time and a season for everything. And the time is now for you. Time is really right now for you. Time and season. That perfect moment. Yeah, it's right now. Start with those shaky hands. It's okay to start unsure. It's okay to start scared. But just start. Instead of working with results, it's really bad to always want instant gratification. Instead, work with the rhythm, work with the flow. Just like going to the gym, you don't expect to start seeing results. You don't expect to start seeing your biceps looking all different just after some days. It might take a while, but it's alright. It's fine. But you just have to keep on taking. Have to keep on going. And before you know, you're at the peak. You're doing all you ever wanted. You're working according to God's purpose for your life. And that's really the reason why we're here. That's the reason why we're on earth. That's the reason why we're created. And you can do this. You can do this. Yeah. If I'm starting, so can you. If I'm just starting, so can you. You can do this. You've got this covered. And I'll really be rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.